Welcome to Ink2 Video. Every day we break down powerful books into simple stories and show you exactly how to apply them.
Meet Varda. Right now, he is physically sitting at his desk, but his mind is absolutely nowhere near his office. When he stares at a spreadsheet, he is worrying about picking up milk and fixing a leaky faucet. When he finally gets home, he agonizes over the quarterly project he left half-finished at work. The persistent fear that he is forgetting a critical detail creates a constant, low-level dread. This mental noise persists regardless of how many tasks he actually manages to finish. Because he has no trusted external system to track his responsibilities, his brain defaults to a raw survival mechanism. He simply reacts to whatever or whoever is screaming the loudest, leaving his true priorities buried. To understand why Varda feels paralyzed, we have to look past his busy schedule and examine the mechanical limits of human memory. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains are biologically wired to be pestered by unfinished tasks. Every unwritten to-do acts as an open loop, constantly demanding your attention. This diagram of a central processing unit shows what happens next. Think of your short-term memory like the RAM in a computer. If you try to run 50 heavy, unresolved programs at the same time, the processor has no room to breathe. The result is a total systemic crash. Overlapping tasks clog the network, causing a massive performance drop that you experience as paralyzing anxiety. No amount of willpower can override this biological bottleneck. When the mind is used for storage, the cognitive resources needed for creative focus and decision-making simply evaporate. Productivity expert David Allen identified a way out of this trap by shifting a basic assumption. The human mind is optimized for generating ideas, not for holding them. Varda tests this by initiating what Allen calls the initial dump. For 2 hours, he sits down and writes intensely out every single pending item in his life, from buying dog food to mapping his 5-year career goals. The moment those tasks leave his internal memory and hit the paper, the psychological pressure drops. The open loops finally close. Forcefully extracting the chaos from your head and mapping it into reality is the mandatory first step. You cannot do the work until you can actually see the work. But a giant list is not enough on its own. Human psychology suffers from the next action bias. When a task on a to-do list is ambiguous, the brain perceives it as a threat and triggers procrastination. Take a common item like fix the car. That is a massive, multi-step project. Sitting on a list, that vague phrase will drain your mental energy for weeks without a single ounce of progress. This flowchart tracks Allen's clarification process in action. We force that vague objective through a filter, asking one specific question: what is the very next physical action? The massive project breaks down into a single, undeniable step: call the mechanic. Next, we route that action to a context-specific list. The task moves out of the general inbox and into a category labeled strictly for phone calls. To keep this new system from instantly clogging with microtasks, Varda applies a filter. If an action takes less than 2 minutes, he does it immediately. No sorting, no scheduling. This multi-step workflow acts as a cognitive assembly line. It takes paralyzing ambiguity at one end and converts it into a sequence of clear physical movements at the other. Varda reaches a new equilibrium. David Allen calls this state mind like water. He becomes the reliable person in the office who never drops a detail, and he is fully present in whatever he is doing. Varda recognizes that his stress was actually a backlog of undecided outcomes, the mental weight of tasks that hadn't yet been clarified. To keep that backlog empty, he implements a strict maintenance protocol. Every Friday, he reviews his lists, clears his inbox, and plans the upcoming week, ensuring he can trust the system and keep his mind completely unburdened. Imposing this level of rigid order on every incoming task provides the actual foundation for psychological freedom. Peak performance requires treating your brain strictly as a processor. You have to completely strip it of its storage duties. There is a sobering, liberating truth to how we operate. As David Allen wrote, you can do anything, but not everything. Try this today. Set a timer for 30 minutes and extract every pending anxiety, unread email, and looming chore from your mind onto a piece of paper. Look at that new list, identify the single most intimidating item on it, and figure out a 2-minute action you can execute against it right now. Mastering your personal workflow is the defining boundary between merely surviving your daily obligations and actively commanding your life.
Subscribe to the channel and comment on which point you would like to implement in your life and which book we should read next.